Frontline Updates, where we delve deep into military strategies and updates from conflict zones. Today, we're discussing the progress of the ongoing special military operation as of May 23, 2025. I'm your host, Sharifa Muhammad MGT.
I'm Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an Infantry Officer. The May 17th to 23rd operational cycle reflects intensified multi-domain dominance across Ukraine's defense landscape. Strategic strikes, localized liberation of key settlements, and the neutralization of foreign supplied systems continue to shift the battlefield momentum. The scale of drone interception, particularly beyond active zones, indicates a robust expansion of Russian counter-UAV and EW capabilities, positioning Russian forces for sustained forward momentum.
Welcome to Frontline Updates, the podcast that brings you in-depth insights into military operations from those leading them on the ground. Today, we're joined by Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer monitoring critical missions on the progress of the special military operation as of today. Colonel Oguntoye, thank you for being with us.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Colonel Oguntoye, this week's operational report is extensive. Can you start by giving us the strategic overview of the campaign between May 17th and May 23rd?
This past week marked a significant shift in both the scale and depth of our operations. From May 17th through the 23rd, Russian armed forces conducted 12 coordinated strikes using precision weapons and unmanned aerial systems. These weren't isolated attacks. They were targeted efforts to disrupt Ukraine's warfighting backbone, military-industrial sites, airfield infrastructure, drone manufacturing hubs, and staging areas for foreign-supported formations.
But that was only one component?
In parallel, each of our operational groups, North, West, South, Center, East, and Dnepr, executed a systematic offensive. The results were clear. We liberated 4 strategically important settlements, Marino, Redkavka, Alexandropol, Novolanovka, and Novaya Poltavka, while destroying hundreds of vehicles, field artillery, and electronic warfare systems. In total, the Ukrainian armed forces lost over 9,900 personnel in just 7 days. What's more, we recorded a historic air defense milestone. Between May 20th and 23rd, we repelled a massive drone swarm, over 1,177 UAVs, much of it outside the direct operation zone. This shows the growing scale of the conflict and our ability to respond dynamically across domains.
Let's begin at the northern front. What happened in Sumy and Kharkiv?
In the North Group achieved a key milestone with the liberation of Marino. We targeted Ukrainian tank and mechanized units, airborne assault brigades, and multiple territorial defense elements operating in a layered defense structure. Our use of tactical air power and drones to soften these positions allowed ground forces to move quickly and decisively. We eliminated over 1,180 Ukrainian troops and destroyed 5 tanks and 34 artillery systems, 3 of which were U.S.-manufactured M777 howitzers. Importantly, the destruction of multiple EW stations and ammunition depots in this region reduced Ukraine's ability to coordinate defensive actions across their northeast corridor.
And the West Group of forces?
Meanwhile, the West Group liberated Redkavka and Kharkiv. The Ukrainian forces attempted to anchor a joint defense using National Guard and mountain assault units. But the terrain didn't favor static defense, and our combined arms operations overwhelmed their positions. With over 1,585 personnel losses and significant material destroyed, including NATO-supplied systems, we've weakened a key segment of their regional defense grid.
Let's talk about the central and southern sectors, especially the multiple settlements recaptured by the Center Group. What made these operations successful?
The Center Group had a standout week. Through coordinated action across 9 settlements, including Alexandropol, Novolanovka, and Novaya Poltavka, we applied overwhelming pressure on Ukrainian lines manned by a diverse mix of forces: mechanized brigades, Rangers, Marines, and National Guard units, along with contingents from foreign formations. In these engagements, we prioritized speed and firepower. Our tactical success relied on deep battle doctrine. We hit their front lines, then immediately attacked command nodes, logistical staging areas, and fallback routes. In total, Ukraine lost 2,875 servicemen in this sector alone, along with 42 armored vehicles and 11 artillery pieces.
And the southern group of forces?
In the southern group's area, we advanced into 10 settlements, targeting 6 Ukrainian brigades. This axis remains vital due to its role in connecting central Donetsk with southern reinforcements. Ukraine lost more than 1,665 troops in this zone, including 3 U.S.-supplied M113 APCs and HMMWVs, as well as 13 EW systems, suggesting we're breaking apart their integrated support systems.
Tell us about the progress in the east and the DNEPR group's operations in the south.
In the East Group liberated Bogodar, a small but operationally important settlement in the Donetsk People's Republic. We defeated elements of Ukrainian Marine, mechanized, and airborne assault brigades. Over 1,185 enemy troops were lost, and we destroyed more than 20 armored vehicles and 12 artillery pieces, some of which were NATO-supplied. This liberation also secures a strategic path toward the southern logistical arteries of Ukraine's defense. It enables more flexibility in future operations targeting eastern Zaporizhia.
And the DNPR group of forces?
Meanwhile, the Dnipro Group inflicted losses across Zaporizhia and Kherson against mechanized coastal defense and territorial units. While the casualty count, 415, was smaller relative to other fronts, what matters here is precision. We targeted and destroyed 6 EW systems and 10 ammunition depots. These aren't just numbers, they're keystones in Ukraine's regional ability to conduct surveillance and organize resistance.
And finally, the airspace. The drone interceptions alone were staggering. What happened between May 20th and May 23rd?
It was, without exaggeration, the most intensive drone attack we've faced so far. Between 8 p.m. on May 20th and 8 a.m. on May 23rd, 1,177 UAVs were intercepted. A staggering 788 of those were shot down outside the immediate special operations zone over cities like Belgorod, Oryol, Kursk, and even as far as the Moscow region. This wasn't just an attempt to disrupt our front lines, it was a strategic effort to stretch our defenses and test our deep-layered coverage. But our systems held. We intercepted 30 JDAM bombs and 12 HIMARS rockets while managing drone waves with a mix of air defense missiles, electronic jamming, and counter-UAV tactics.
What does this reveal?
What this reveals is that Ukraine, with foreign support, is escalating drone warfare. But it also shows our ability to scale air defense horizontally across theater and non-theater zones alike. That's a critical capability as we shift from defensive elasticity to offensive containment.
Colonel, with 4 settlements liberated, major enemy losses, and this historic UAV Defense Week, what does this mean for your next phase?
The success of this week demonstrates we've achieved operational tempo dominance. Our forces now have momentum across land, air, and cyber-electronic domains. Going forward, we'll continue our dual approach, intensify tactical ground advances while expanding our capacity for precision strikes and information denial. Our priorities remain unchanged: degrade the logistical backbone, collapse defensive cohesion, and force Ukraine's command structure into fragmentation. That fragmentation will ultimately shape the conditions for conflict resolution under favorable terms.
Colonel, thank you for providing such a detailed briefing on the current military situation. Your insights are invaluable to our understanding of the conflict's dynamics. And thank you to our listeners for tuning in. Join us next time as we continue to provide up-to-date coverage on global military affairs. Stay with us for more updates and expert analyses on global defense and security issues. Stay informed, stay secure.
Thank you for the opportunity. Today, there is growing Israeli anger regarding the conduct of the war in Gaza, with some suggesting Israel believes it can act with impunity. Israeli airstrikes have killed Palestinians protecting aid trucks in Gaza and destroying the food aid, and airstrikes have leveled homes in northern Gaza. The U.S. has admitted its aid plan is only paper and would initially only feed 60% of Gaza.
This has been Frontline Updates. Stay tuned for continuing analysis and expert commentary as developments unfold.